Vigilante Williamson here with a clip from my show. Star Wars Squadron writer Mitch Dyer reveals pilot Keo Venzee uses they/them pronouns. Star Wars Squadron writer Mitch Dyer recently revealed the game's character Keo uses they/them pronouns. Dyer took to Twitter to share a screenshot of Keo Venzee and wrote, "Friendly PSA, people start talking about characters, Keo's pronouns and Star Wars Squadron. They/them. Thank you." As detailed by StarWars.com, Keo Venzee is a New Republic fighter and a member of the Vanguard Squadron. The character was born on Muriel and thus is a Murielian. So before kind of giving my spiel on this, I think I need to clarify why people get upset about stuff like this. Because I can imagine if you are a hardcore leftist or in those spectrums, when you see someone getting mad at pronouns, your snap reaction is they must be transphobic, homophobic, whatever phrase you want to use. They're bigoted. And you don't understand why someone would get upset about pronouns. Why does it matter, right? That would be the argument against it, right? The reason people get upset is a lot of times the virtue signal itself. Let's say they had just done it and just made it subtle, and it's just a part of it. I mean, there's been LGBTQ characters throughout fandom forever, right? And they just make this character that happens to be trans, it happens to have they, them, and they're a really good, engaging character. People are just going to like it. You know what I mean? But it's the virtue signal itself that seems disingenuous. And to be fair to Mitch Dyer, as we know in this industry, it doesn't necessarily have to be where Mitch Dyer is like, oh man, I need to virtue signal to everyone. It could be something like, hey, put out a report. This is how it is. We got to make sure we send things out that we're you know, I don't want to use the term woke as it's become pejorative. I'm trying to find the positive. We're an ally. We're allies. We're trans allies. We're LGBTQ allies. We have to put it out there that that's what we are. And so it just feels disingenuous this is unnecessary. This is a friendly PSA, but it's for the point of getting pats on the back. And that disingenuousness is why people get so upset at this sort of stuff, especially because Star Wars is a beaten down franchise that they abuse and abuse and abuse, and they have taken all of the cachet from it in that abuse. So of course people are going to be upset when they hear, we want to hear about new stories, new cool things happening. No one cares about this person's pronouns. And in fact, I think people like me, YouTubers and individuals like that, are going to make it bigger. Look at the comments, they could be cancer. But I think people like us are going to be more upset and give this more attention than anything. I don't understand. I do understand the virtue signal in the game. It's a lot of, it's not from a genuine place, unfortunately. I don't know. Maybe Mitch Dyer is really genuinely passionate. Maybe he's I don't know where he is on the spectrum. But I don't think that should be the first thing you report. And I think it would be a lot better, not necessarily if you tossed it, if it's something where you're asked, you say, oh, well, yeah, this person's trans, that's one thing. But to lead with that is as if you've done nothing else with this character. And quite frankly, what we've seen from woke Hollywood is that trans is all they have. Like they didn't write a good character 9 times out of 10. Their identity. The identity is all they have. They come up with this identity. This is a lesbian woman of color, whatever buzz phrase they love. And that's it. They have no idea how to write characterization. And that comes from the fact that wokeness is a symptom. It is not the origin, right? You have a bunch of people that can't write, and so they hide behind wokeness because you can't criticize me or else you're an istophobe. On top of that, you have these higher ups who have this Marxist, cultural Marxist energy, legitimate cultural Marxism, and they have their nefarious agenda. It is nefarious. It is wicked, unfortunately. I know I'm actually going to debunk some conspiracy theories a little bit later, and that could sound conspiratorial, especially with, some of the other things I've said. but there is an agenda to separate everyone, to balkanize everyone, and it's been in media for a while. If they want to write a character that's LGBTQ or trans, just make a trans character, just make a good character. And think about Samus, right? Because this is a video game. Metroid, we didn't know Samus was a girl to the end, and it was like a reveal. So if you're just playing a game and partway through you realize, oh, this character's trans, but you were engaged in the character, you're not going to care. And I'm not trying to say that to say, oh, somebody who's trans should hide that. That's not where I'm going. I'm just saying it shouldn't be the lead of the character. The identity shouldn't be the lead of the character. And you should make it something that's happenstantial for us as a fan, where the character's traits outside of their identity are so compelling that then we care about them, and then their identity adds to it. That's how you write a good character. And that's not what I see. And that's what people get fearful. They say, here's a virtue signal. Here's an incomplete character. And if I criticize, I'm going to be called an istophobe. That's what people have been conditioned to think and feel when they see a tweet like this by Mitch Dyer talking about this character, Keo Venzee, coming up in Star Wars Squadron. And I want to give an example of, I would say, one of the better and the most intimidating LGBTQ character I've ever seen in any media is Captain Vogan from Metal Gear Solid 3. And the fact that he's bi does not make him any less scary. It doesn't make him less intimidating, doesn't make him less of a villain. And in fact, kind of adds to his energy as a villain. And it was a well-written character who was LGBTQ, and it didn't, it added to their character, and it wasn't thrown in your face, and you weren't told anything. And he was a villain, so you were allowed to not like him if you wanted to, but he was cool. It was cool. And that's it. You make a cool fucking character, nothing matters. Nothing else matters. So you can make, if Keo Venzee is a cool ass character, then all your sins will be forgiven, Mitch Dyer. Focus on making a cool ass character in a good game. They, them, beep, bop, boop, nothing matters.